The most amazing thing, the 31st of January was our first invoice of 2008, and we sold a few insoles to a physiotherapist. It's always been a big attribute for me is diversify by your customers. So don't just be relying on one single customer or one single customer channel, and diversify by your products and your brands.
Is there a particular moment when you knew that this business was going to take off?
We were not selling into retailers when we started, and it dawned on me that they like what we're doing.
Yeah.
We were actually stocking in retail stores. That really was the turning point.
Welcome to the Comfort Walk and Talk, where every step towards comfort is a step towards a healthier you.
We're your hosts,
Jeff.
Alana.
And Ben.
Together, let's transform our lives from the ground up.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of the Comfort Walk and Talk. I'm your host Ben, and today we are talking about the ComfortCo being a family business, but to the extreme. Literally the whole family works here. And they draw people in as well. So some of our listeners might not know I'm actually Lani's husband.
Yeah.
She pulled me in. I'm part of the family now. And Nathan, his wife actually, where did you meet?
Yeah.
Right here as well. So it is a big family business, and it does, by being that family business, especially in the world of shoes, that puts us in, we join the ranks of Nike, who are the Knight family, of Skechers, which is Robert Greenberg and his family, and New Balance. But
Amazing.
Who's ever heard of them really? It's
The ComfortCo.
the ComfortCo. So let's just go around the table and just to provide a bit of an introduction. So if we could just learn who you are and what you do in the company. So we'll start with you, Tosh.
I am Natasha.
She likes Natasha, but we call her Tosh.
Natasha.
And I've been around in a lot of field areas in the business, but I have settled down to work in e-commerce for Nathan. And so I pretty much just manage the websites.
Yeah, Nathan, obviously. And I've been here for 16 plus years now. When I started, obviously early days, the business was a lot smaller. So I slotted in just to do a lot of administration type things, bit of warehouse work and whatnot. Shifted into a little bit of finance when Alana decided to leave for a year to do her corporate thing in Brisbane. But and then I moved into obviously the e-com strategy, the e-com development side of things since 2012, and I've just continued to grow that part of the business since then. And so now I lead a team across all digital business.
So, Lani, you're the only one that's worked outside of the business for a point. Well, I mean, you were both sandwich artists, to be fair. Shout out Subway.
Yes, we were. I had to come back to save the finance department when I left from Nathan. No, when Dad started the business in 2008, Nathan and I were both still in high school, and I would come in on Saturdays and do some bookkeeping, which made me ace my accounting exam in grade 12.
You're welcome.
Yeah, because it was an MYOB, and I'm like, we use MYOB. And then, I moved through finance. I left and did the silly tax thing, came back, and then worked my way through to finance manager, commercial manager, realised that I sort of hate the finance side. So I now am the Chief Operations Officer. So I still manage the finance team a little bit more remotely, but more involved in the operations side of things. So anything to do with inventory. I help out with the leading of the customer service side with my mum, who can't be here right now because customer service never stops.
Never ever.
Mum is here as well. And then anything that Dad needs me to do in terms of product or any other projects like that.
Having seen it firsthand, I know for a fact that you wear many, many hats
Yeah.
in this business.
It's hard to explain, but very, very exciting.
Yes.
And last but not least, Jeff.
Well, I mean, you've met me before, but I'm Jeff, and the founder and chief executive, I guess, of the business. I'm very proud to be here with the team, the kids, and Ben and Sands, who's not here. But it's been a great journey, and I was thinking with Nathan, he mentioned about finance, and I sort of have this vision of Nathan going, oh. Get me out of here.
Yeah.
That's why Lani was mentioning she came back.
Very
You know,
much.
and Nathan's fallen into really what he loves, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, but it's been a tremendous privilege for me to sort of work with the family and the business, and I think, you know, today we maybe explore some of the journey.
The highs and lows. Yeah, let's dive in. Hey, so let's start right from the start. It's hard to know you guys anything other than the ComfortCo family, but what were you doing before Comfort Shoes? Start with Jeff, hey?
Yeah, look, I'm a financial guy, a financial background. You know, I'm a chartered accountant, and I used to work with Pacific Dunlop actually, which, you know, a big large conglomerate. You know, I was in New Zealand and then in Melbourne for a few years, and so I was in a pretty high sort of corporate role, and so I spent a lot of my time there, and then did a few other financial roles when I moved to the Gold Coast with the family. You know, we had an opportunity to move back to New Zealand or the Gold Coast, and it was a resounding move to the Gold Coast. Which was
Like every other New Zealander, right?
Exactly. joined our mates or you know, friends.
The far now.
Far now, as they say. But you know, starting a business, you know, was just the greatest joy. You know, it probably started a little bit late in life. If I can have any advice to anyone, you know, don't be afraid to start business. I mean, that's once you start, you just get into the mode of building, and so that was fun.
So what spurred that decision?
It was a bit of an opportunistic decision. I was very frustrated with working for corporates. If you work for the larger they are, the slower they move, you know, and decision making becomes very, very painful. So you really can't achieve a lot. I mean, you're working with big numbers and all that, but you can't achieve a lot quickly. So I love being able to be pretty nimble. And then, you know, we had an opportunity where I was working for a company, and they'd actually sold out to a big multinational, except for one of their brands, which was a very small part of their business, about $1 million worth of revenue at that stage. And the opportunity was, do you want to keep running this business? It's got some customers, got a bit of stock. And I thought, you know, myself and I had a business partner at that stage, and it's a sort of an easy way to start, really, because it was sort of a bit of a guarantee. But still, at the end of the day, it was a break-even business, and it paid us a modest salary, but it offered us the opportunity to find ways to sort of make money by being very cost-effective and all that. Hence, you know, Saturday mornings with the kids. It was great.
Had a 16-year-old.
Having a crew,
right?
having the finance team, you know, and all that sort of. So that was great.
So I mean, it is having that kind of young family. It is a risky move to take it out of the corporate world and start your own business. Let's go, Nathan. How did you feel about that when you heard that was happening, knowing that there would be a bit more risk involved?
Still probably a bit young to understand the risk fully. I'd understand it now if I was, you know, this age when it started. But no, I mean, I was obviously still at school at age. I think maybe grade 10, 11 or something like that when it started. Had my job at Subway at that point. But no, I mean, it was probably more exciting than anything because I could actually be involved in what Dad was doing.
Yeah, and I think we knew the people that Dad worked with at that stage and who you were partnering with and taking over from.
Yep.
So it was sort of just like continuing on what Dad was already doing.
Yeah. So the journey has begun. The ComfortCo was not as we know it now, was born, but it was Vasily in those early days, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was started as the Vasily brand, actually, which was...
Yeah. So tell me about those early days. Where did you start up? What did you do?
Well, you know, the kids can chime in, but I remember our first was a warehouse. It was a very small warehouse, just, you know, and it fitted our stock. We had a bit of racking. Amazing. We bought racking. We had stock. You know, we had a little office, and you know, the most amazing thing for the first was that, you know, I can remember it now. The 31st of January was our first invoice of 2008, and we sold a pair of insoles a few insoles to a physiotherapist. It's always amazing in business when you do that first transaction, because you realise. I always say, if you can sell one thing, you can sell a million things, right? That's the thing, and you know, at the end of the day, that's where we're at, you know. But that was the first thing, and then obviously the first, you know, year or so, we didn't have the turnover to employ a big sort of team or anything, so we had to be multi-diverse, pick, pack, customer service, debt collection, you know, finance, you know, whatever it was. We all had to wear multiple hats, and we've sort of kept that philosophy going in the business. You know, I've made sure that I haven't built a business where we have to have necessarily great big chunks of, you know, a hierarchy. I'd love a flat structure. You know?
Yeah. I mean, it still is that very much alive today. Everyone can do different things, and it really, you can benefit from getting someone else's opinion that's not there all the time. You know,
Exactly.
you can be too close to things, and getting that other opinion can make all the difference. And you guys are still out there. You know, we see all the time that the CEO of the company out unloading containers. And,
Exactly.
yeah, if everyone
love it.
pulls up their sleeves and gets involved, which is one of the really great things I think about working here as well.
It was nice back in those days. So we had the Vasily, obviously, which never changed, never brought in new products. And then we started with shoes, and I think we had 3 styles, maybe 2 styles.
Yeah, 2 or 3 styles.
And our
amazing.
biggest problem was a back order on one
Oh,
colour
it's amazing.
of product. So when that came in, all you had to do was ship that one colour to everyone and you'd done your month. It was the most simple
Those were the
time.
days
Those
with
were the
4
days.
styles.
Yeah.
Good old days.
Oh, yeah. So we were on MYOB, which we outgrew very quickly.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine being back on that. I remember when Nathan started the e-com business, you built the website, you took the orders, you keyed the orders, you took that out to the warehouse, you picked and packed it, and you shipped it. I mean, can you imagine that? Yeah.
The whole process.
And then
start to
you
finish.
entered the tracking numbers back into, what was it? WordPress on those days? Well, one of our websites was on WordPress.
Yeah, we had WordPress and Magento 1,
Yeah.
1.9. That was our Bionic website, and then Westfield's website.
Yeah, but that's the nature of, I mean, that's the nature of us. You know, that's one of the really things I love about it, is the fact that everyone in the room started from grassroots, and they're very real about the fact as they go, right, they'll pick a product, or they're very real. You know, Nathan started from invoice number 1 in e-com. Invoice number 1 in our digital business, Nathan was part of.
And I think that helps when we're, Nathan and I and Tosh as well, we're always thinking about new systems and ways to make things more efficient. And that stems back, we know the whole process, which is so handy. So when you're putting something in the warehouse to improve pick efficiency, we know the whole process at the moment of how they pick, pack, and they ship. So having that understanding across the whole business makes it really easy for us to think about how new software will better structure.
Exactly.
I mean, was there a particular moment when you knew that this business was going to take off?
I will say, a moment for me was when we first started. Selling, we built a Revere brand, right? Our Revere brand. So we had a really sound business. We as I say, we started with a customer base of about 1,000 accounts, right? Which was a great start for a business. Happy days. We had that. So we started selling insoles, and then we started selling actually the Shoal brand. So that was sort of a known entity, and it was providing us with a nice business and all that. But when we created the Revere brand, and we actually had interest from resellers and retailers, which were not part of our customer base. We were not selling into retailers when we started, and it dawned on me that they like what we're doing.
Yeah.
We were actually stocking in retail stores, and I thought, well, that really was the turning point, that point in terms of my mind, and then also the fact that we also were adding brands to our portfolio.
Yeah.
Particularly since Revere came from a medical need.
Exactly.
Of having a removable insole to replace with a custom orthotic, which doesn't seem very sexy from a retail level. And we also started with 2 quite ugly shoes.
Catalina and the Capri.
2 colours, 2 styles.
White snake and black
and
nuba.
we managed to make a 4-page catalogue of that. A 4-page catalogue of 2 colours, 2 styles.
I think I need to see this
Amazing.
catalogue.
Talk about freaking etching it out. Wouldn't it be great?
Yeah.
And we had a first order, and it's a funny story on that, because the first order arrived, and unfortunately the left side was different to the right side.
Never manufactured product before, right?
So, we realised that actually sometimes you have to, we had a good partner in the factory, and thankfully the factory quickly remade and sent us the new styles. But it did teach us early on about, you can't take things for granted when you're manufacturing product.
Yeah, no, definitely. This one's for the kids here. With being a family business and everything like that, there could be a sense of legacy, as it were, of what you're building as a family, what you're working towards. Do you think about that regularly, or does it not really factor in day to day?
I think I'll start and say that sometimes it is nice when we step away and think about it to think about what we're building, yes. But we're so ingrained mostly in the day-to-day of the business and really, really busy. Sometimes it's hard, and we should do it more often to step back and think about what we're building as a family. We just get down and roll our sleeves up and are doing it every day. So yeah, that's my perspective.
It can be harder to miss that, easy to miss that big picture.
Yeah, and we're continually striving for more and better, and and I think for me it's just nice that we have a large team now that we can support. So yeah, that's probably the big benefit for me. You guys?
I was going to have the same answer pretty much.
Yeah.
So the day to day, I don't think about it until you literally ask the question. I'm like, oh yeah, no.
It is nice to think about sometimes, isn't
Yeah.
it?
It's a good thing that we're building, but no, that yeah, it's good to sit back and think about it. But yeah, so.
I think that's a good point. I mean, just quickly on that point, is that actually you only really realise when you start explaining to outside parties like banks and all that, you actually put a presentation together and they go, wow.
Yeah.
And that's what I can sit back every time and think about, wow, where we are now.
Yeah.
Like we have a multi-store retail chain. We're operating in 5 countries. Websites. We have thousands of customers. We have 4 of our own brands that we manufacture, and then 4 amazing international brands. The wow is sometimes we need to just take the wow and realise what we're achieving.
Yeah, because it is pretty impressive. Like the business now spanning over multiple countries with a great range. I say it all the time, but there is a shoe for everyone now, and it's only getting better as we go along.
Exactly.
Which is pretty great. Now, I just want to go around the table as well. Like obviously, working with the family is very nice. You get to be around the people that you love all the time. I'm sure it hasn't always been rosy. What would you say is the best and the worst part about working with your family? First one, then the other. Let's go, Natasha. You first.
I love it. It's great. I think it's like the same though. Like I love seeing my family all the time, and it's awesome. But then when we're outside of work, it comes down to talking about work. So like we're always talking about work, but I love it. So
Lucky we're passionate about
yes, yeah.
For me, yeah, the bringing the work talk outside of work, that happens a lot. But I think it's like it's a positive and negative with working with family, and it's the same thing though. Obviously you got that personal relationship, so you're not necessarily talking to the CEO as if you were in a different business and your CEO wasn't your dad. So you got a good a close relationship there, which is positive. It means that you can have that good relationship, but then at the same time you probably lose that professionalism a little bit, and so you just got to work within those sort of.
It's a definite balance, right?
Yeah, it's a balance that you got to have there. So I mean it's more positive than negative, but that's working with family. I think for me that's the personal relationship part of it that
works for Nike.
Yeah, mine's similar, except more. I mean, more between us personally, in that I can go to Nathan and we're both heads of big departments, and we can have a discussion and it can be really quick fire because we can just make the decision. We know each other, we know each other's thoughts, but then it can also sometimes, because we are brother and sister, can turn into a bit more of a less professional scrap over things, which is great. Love it every time. But I think that is the highs and lows of it, is, and not that it's a low, I guess. But it's just I can look at Nathan and we can make a decision without even talking sometimes, or sometimes it just turns into this fight over things. Yeah, like when we were young again, So, and it's the same probably with Tosh as well. So, but
who do you think would win in a fight?
Probably Nathan.
Intellectual fight, Lance. Argumentative me.
Battle of wits. Yeah, there you go. How about you, Jeff?
It's quite easy for me, really. I think there's 2 things. The best bit, for me, is to be able to create opportunities for. I have a real, I suppose, motive or goal or drive to ensure, because my kids, they could all have been doing something else. They could all have been working, very highly educated, all of them. They could all have been working for major companies, doing major roles, and they chose to work with the family business. And one of the commitments I've made to myself is to make sure they have absolutely no regrets, which they have powerful learning experiences, powerful jobs that would resonate on any CV in the long term. So it's very motivating for me to be able to provide that and see the growth. And sometimes, give them opportunities to grow. And, like Nathan, when he started and runs our e-com, he wasn't the qualified digital manager, that would have maybe walked into a door and got a role. But now he is. And he's had the opportunity to grow grassroots and learn and all that. So that's really motivating. For me, the tough bit is a bit related to what the guys were saying about sometimes it's hard to cross between the boss and the dad, right? But in terms of discussing and saying, because you have to play a real balance in that.
I mean,
It always merges.
Yeah, I think
it
Dad,
always merges.
Yeah, I think Dad brings up another point as well, is that we have been given these amazing opportunities, which we really appreciate. I know across us, but then also sometimes we were thrown into the deep end without having guidance necessarily within the business or things like that we could draw on. I think we've done an amazing job, but that was probably a bit of a high low as well. Sometimes we had to struggle through and try and learn things and become the experts quite quickly because that's the position that
really
we were
sink
given.
or swim, right?
Yeah, which we all thrive.
I mean, a good example of that, just to support Lani's comment, is that, we implemented NetSuite in 2017, a major international system, because we couldn't deal with MyOb on 8 databases. It was crashing.
Yeah.
And Lani really implemented that over 6 months. She was the one who did the consulting, the whole lot. We had a consultant we didn't use because we couldn't, it just wasn't working out. So, there's in the deep end. And I'd say now that she could equal anyone implementing a NetSuite project.
Yeah.
There you go. High praise. Like that.
I love NetSuite, by the way.
Love
a bit of a
NetSuite.
shout out.
Love NetSuite. Yeah, shout out NetSuite. We'll go back a bit now as well. So, you've all been working in comfort shoes for about 15 years now. Were you aware of the category before?
No, I mean, I bought $3 Kmart flip-flops most of the time. I can't even remember what shoes I had. Maybe some cheap heels I wore once. I don't know. But definitely didn't know. And then when we had this, we started with the Shoal, Sonoma and Wave, which is still around today. And I remember putting on a pair of those and being like,
Oof,
woof.
game changer.
Yeah. And then we, moved into diabetic shoes and more fashionable comfort shoes and things like that with Vionic. But yeah, we've sort of come along the shoe journey along with the company and I think the industry has changed so much in the time that we've been doing it as well.
Yeah.
It's a very small niche part of somebody's store to quite a wide range of things that you have to provide, and that comes with other brands providing comfort shoes, like Skechers, for example, making that a real category across stores.
Yeah, it's just kind of taking those opportunities as they come as well.
Yeah.
So it's given what we're building and everything like that, how the industry's changed. Do you think that the ComfortCo has been a driver in that, or have we been reacting to what others have been doing?
I like to think we've been a driver. When I first started, to the point you asked before, do you know the category? No, I didn't really know the category. I didn't really even know what an orthotic was and all that. And in the early days of our journey, 2008, around that time, comfort was considered your mum, your nana's shoes. I'll go there, and it was considered orthopedic medical. That was what it was. The word comfort really meant that. And so it really was a category that was like a description. It was an emotive. And I think one of the things that we've focused on is creating a category, is creating our own definition of the word and making comfort really something that's all ages and all categories and all experiences. And that's what we've tried to do, and that's what we want to own. We are really probably the largest focused comfort shoe supplier in Australia, and our brands are amazing because we are focused on the customers. You can't, one size doesn't fit all, and that's why we have multiple brands, because we're fitting different needs and all that, but all around the comfort category. And I think we've created our own description of comfort in the business, and that's what we want to own.
Yeah, because who doesn't like being comfortable, right? It's comfort's for everyone. So how important to you guys do you think having that range of shoes that does something, right? Is that important into your day-to-day?
I think that being our mission, has really drived our passion. And you guys can chime in here if you like, but I feel like I'm passionate about this business. If we were just selling run-of-the-mill shoes, I don't know if I would be as passionate about it as I am because of the fact that we're helping people.
We've had a brand or two that just haven't fitted, and they're not with our business anymore, or because they just haven't fitted.
Yeah, I mean, we have brands reach out to us all the time on LinkedIn or different platforms, and we're very focused on what we want to provide to the market. So it's a very easy yes or no most of the time.
It keeps us North Star, right? It should always be meeting our principles.
I think it's because also, like, I don't remember when I wasn't wearing one of our branded shoes. Like, I can't even recall going and buying another brand. And because we wear it all the time, it just helps us feel passionate about it as well.
Particularly as we're focused on making shoes nicer for your age bracket.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, Natasha, the crash test dummy, right? That's it. She has actually been one of our models on one of our previous episodes as well.
Yeah,
So
she's great. She's a great wide foot model.
Never let me forget.
Another benefit of working in the family, we just jam each other all day.
Exactly.
So funny. From the kind of outsider looking in, I find it hilarious. So thanks for that.
Actually, I can't miss the opportunity. Just one little story. It'll take a few seconds.
Oh, go on.
It's the funniest story in the business, and it's Toshi's first experience with the company, right? And we gave her a very important task to send out statements.
Oh, yes.
To send out statements to customers.
I was very young.
And she was into the efficiency mode as well.
Yeah.
Honestly, she was very focused on being as efficient as possible. So she comes to us and said, "Look, I found an efficient way to send statements. What I do is I put 50 in one envelope and send them to the first address."
No.
I didn't know they were for separate customers. Okay.
You're just changing the game. Wow.
Sorry, Ben, but that's
it does kind of lead into my next point, is that the ComfortCo these days is all about innovation, right? So
yes.
we've been from Natasha sending out 50 invoices, just innovating there, absolutely
very efficient.
Efficiency,
Quick.
you love to see it. From our births from working with Vionic, which is they are quite often lauded as the company that changed comfort footwear forever, as putting things into that, to now Atrex, who are a technology company that also sells shoes. They're and of course even working with companies like your Scholl's and your Naturalizers, that if you look in the backstory of them, have been revolutionising comfort footwear for decades, for a very, very long time. Is that now, is that innovation, do you feel that is ingrained into the company now? And if so, when did that change, or has that always been a part of what we do?
I think it's definitely just part of our personality as the family. Not that day to day we don't like to, tout ourselves as the family or, whatever.
Consigliere.
We're, like I said before, we're down, we're working, we're, rolling our sleeves up with everyone. But I think us being in the business for the longest, we've always tried. Just an example, when I started in the company and doing the customer service, helping with customer service with Mum, return authorities were handwritten on a sheet of paper and then faxed through to a clinic for shoes, for example, if they were being returned. So I systemized that using the the limited function of MYOB at that time, by being able to at least put that into the system to reduce speed. And that was something that I did, and then we go through, and I think we're always looking for ways to do it fast. Nathan won't even launch on a new marketplace unless it's automated. Because we know we've got that many transactions, and we know how hard it is to do things that aren't automated. So I think we're always looking between us on things that are making things easier and faster as we grow, because we've been in such a growth phase for that many years.
It is, I think, the simple decision making too. At the end of the day, the flat structure makes a big part. We can turn things around. We can make decisions in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, we get the information or whatever. So whether it be systems, whether it be processes, our sales approach, campaigns can change, things like that. And even product. And so innovation is incredibly important. It's one of our values. You need to be innovating to growing, and you need to be and you need to be differentiating from your innovation. So we are, that's absolutely one of the key values we have.
And I think we are not afraid, and this has been
Not afraid
not
to
afraid of
make
making mistakes.
Absolutely, 100%.
But we have made so many mistakes, like countless.
Some of them are sitting in the warehouse now.
Some of them are sitting in the warehouse now.
Lots.
But we have worked with many different people over the years, and some people will wait for perfection before going forward. I think we do not. We are moving forward. We are trying things, and I think that culture has really permeated itself throughout the business, where people are not afraid to try things and just get it resolved.
In fact, that resolves in one of probably our biggest growth. What it'll represent as one of our biggest growth was when during COVID, when we obviously all that terrible time when you're wondering how you're going to survive, and we went out and bought a business that doubled our revenue, and then we also the next year created 2 new brands, and we just went for it, and that's part of the sort of go forward strategy.
What is it? That's the Silicon Valley saying, isn't it? It's move fast and break things.
That's right.
Exactly.
Which is kind of we implement
Ask for money later.
Sorry, bank manager.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. So it seems like the big change in the business was launching our own brand in Revere.
Yes.
What's kind of differences have you felt there from just being distribution to actually having that in-house?
So the biggest change, we were completely reliant when we started on external people. Now, we have wonderful brands, but at the end of the day, when you're reliant on an external party, your whole business future is defined by that external party. So it's always been a big attribute for me is diversify by your customers. So don't just be reliant on one single customer or one single customer channel, and diversify by your products and your brands. So we've set about, we're very focused on having a mission where we manufacture a lot of our product. We still leverage off very, very good brands, but it's all about risk management, right? And so for us, that's been incredibly important, because at the end of the day, if we control the brand and manufacture what we're selling, then we can control our destiny into the long term, into the future.
Yeah, and I feel like we have a particular style of shoe that we like.
Yeah.
Even across different brands and different demographics and stuff. So being able to make sure that we are getting that to satisfy the customers that we have has been super important, because styles come and go and brands that we don't control, and we're able to really focus on things that we like to provide to the market.
Yeah. So that kind of leads into what I wanted to cover next is basically chicken or egg. So did we always plan to have shoes in every category so that we could launch the ComfortCo, or did that just happen organically? We realised one day that, hey, we do have something for everything and we need a place to house that.
It happened a little bit organically, I guess. But at the end of the day, it was pretty obvious too. So as we start to add more brands and all that, the realization is that we need to be very good at something, right? And there's a massive world out there, and there's a massive lot of competition. And if we're just providing another shoe brand, another set of shoes, and we might be good one year and out the next year, sort of. So we want to be known for that. Everything in our building is built around our comfort recipe. That's where we've come to in the last few years. And so, but at the end of the day too, one brand doesn't suit every customer. So we have to have multiple brands to do that. Younger people will not buy a particular brand label, or the brand may mean active or whatever. So that's what we have. That's what we've really set about.
Different shoes for different situations, right?
Yeah.
So just a big quick note for our listeners. You might, over the course of these episodes, gotten to know Jeff a little bit better as a kind of calm, reserved sort of thing, but really it's all a front. He is a Energizer bunny that's relentlessly striving for its next venture. So Jeffo, tell me what's next, mate.
Well, our focus is very clear. We've got to make sure our retail business is working really well. We're going to have 10 stores operating in 26. We're well on the way now. We've even just started a New Zealand store. We'll be starting in November, and ensure that our US business is very, very sound. On top of our strong digital platform, which we've discussed earlier, and what we're very excited about. So really, we've got our growth path set, right?
Yeah.
We've got our ranges, we've got our brand stories, and now we're focused on making sure we've got our good retail business and a good international growth.
One of the things about Dad, and you guys will agree, is Dad will go on these international business trips, which stopped over COVID, hence him just buying a brand and creating 2 new brands.
Yeah, I had to stay local then.
Yeah, but he would go on these international business trips, and all of us would just be gripping our chairs, just waiting for the call to be like, I've got something new, or I've got this, or I've got that. And we're like, oh no, more.
Yeah. Nathan, need you to build a website.
Need you to build a website for Dubai.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
So that has kind of been our last step there, which was launching ComfortCo US. Given this kind of state of the world at the moment, what's going on with your tariffs and all of that kind of stuff, what made you confident that it was the right decision?
Well, it's sort of, in a way, it sort of was an obvious decision. We needed to, we had a partner. There was a partner company in the US that was selling largely one of our key brands, Revere, and that company changed its situation. So so the opportunity was to pick up what was an established business there, with established customers, and grow it. But at the end of the day, I immediately looked at it and said, okay, this is obvious. We've got customers. We've got a bit of a website platform. We've got 2 other brands that can go in the US and sort of complement. So it's a natural sort of growth.
Yeah.
And to answer your question quickly, the decision was made pre-tariff.
Pre-tariffs, right? So that makes sense. Yeah.
But we've built the tariffs into the pricing now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very
you kinda
smart.
have to,
CA
yeah.
over here has fixed it all up.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So that must present challenges though, operating in those different markets. Do you find that this one's for you guys, that you have to change messaging a fair bit, or is that comfy pair of shoes universal?
From my point of view, it's still early days for us. So we're replicating our ComfortCo strategy across Australia, New Zealand, Singapore, and the US to an extent. Obviously, localized product, but there's a lot more development we need to make in that area to localize some of that marketing efforts as well. So we realise that there will be a lot of localized.
Like different seasons as well, so we need to go pretty much the opposite from Australia. So we're still working that in.
Fear is a separate kettle of fish.
Yeah. Well, it's exciting times.
It is.
That's good. So this is kind of a last one. We'll go around the table for this one. So I want you to imagine it's 10 years into the future. Okay. What does the ComfortCo look like now?
Or just awesome. I'm gonna say probably like another 3 websites. But so yeah, 3 markets. Yeah. Maybe more brands. I'll probably say maybe.
Almost certainly more brands.
More brands.
I'm gonna say like 10 more brands, one every year from Dad. But yeah, no.
No, I think distribution into more regions would be where I would see it, in a few regions that we decide fit into the company. But really, I would personally like to see it continuing the brands we have now, but growing them substantially.
Really? You'd personally like to see that?
But I would just like to see, because I'm a numbers person, to see us take the online result from here to here in 10 years, and just let's focus on that.
We have the future, definitely.
I would like in 10 years for the ComfortCo to be widely known as the place to go, whether retail stores, which we will have all across all of Australia and New Zealand, and potentially other markets, for comfort shoes. So or any new shoes that you need, because everyone wants comfortable shoes. So I really would like us to be widely known across the market.
Yeah, like I agree with Alana. Is basically synonymous with the category. Someone's looking for art. I've got to go to ComfortCo to see what they got first. So think of big brands now. That's what we want to be. Someone it's like the first place to go and have a look. And and they're going to think that before they necessarily think the shoe.
Yeah, perfect. Well, that about does us for time today. Thank you guys for joining us.
Question for you, Ben.
Oh, here we go.
What is your highs and lows of working with the Coombridge family at Global?
I'm just going to go ahead and plead the fifth on that one. No, obviously it is really nice having been accepted into this family. First things first. I obviously have a lot of love for you guys and being able to work around that as well. It's also provided me the flexibility from, we've got our young family there as well. Lani is a lot more important than I am around here. So I was able to take the role of stay-at-home dad, which I probably wouldn't have had that opportunity as well. So obviously it's not all rosy from time to time. It can be a bit tough kind of navigating the dynamics, but it's all part of the parcel. So I'm very blessed to have this opportunity, and thank you, Jeff.
Yeah, and we've
got the plastic down there.
Yeah. We have a 2.5-year-old that just loves shoes already.
Loves
somehow.
it, loves it,
And
loves it.
working.
No.
And working. She's on her laptop with her shoes. Yeah.
We'll go ahead and get that for B-roll so that
exactly.
the customers can see that as well. So thanks a lot, guys. Yeah, it's an exciting time, and with the Coombridge family out there making moves, it's only going to get better. So thanks a lot, guys, and thank you for tuning in.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you for joining us on the Comfort Walk and Talk by the ComfortCo. If you like this episode and you got something out of it, we would love your support with a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify.
Don't forget to subscribe on your favourite channels and never miss a step on your journey to comfort.
Please follow us for more insights and updates on the ComfortCo social media channels. Until the next episode, see you later.